Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Christopher Bear, and I will be mediating this resolution today. Today we have Cricket Australia and versus Australian Cricketers Association. Before we begin, might as well give a little history onto why this issue is here today. Back in 2018, Cameron Bancroft was caught cheating on live television during a cricket game. On television, it appeared that Mr. Bancroft had a slip of paper and was rubbing against a ball. It was later found that during a press conference after the game, he admitted to using tape to put dirt onto the ball to affect how the ball would bounce and go into different directions once thrown. It is also then found that that's when Steve Smith admitted to knowing about the cheating and said he didn't do anything about it. Obviously, big mistake on both parts. However, it was later found that they were lying in that they were not using tape but sandpaper, and Bancroft was sandpapering the ball to better affect how it bounced and to throw the South African team off. This is obviously giving an unfair advantage, therefore cheating. And while Cricket Australia has had its fair run-ins with cheaters before, this time they were set to make a precedent of this cheating event, and that's why Bancroft and Steve Smith both received fines, as well as Dave Warner, who was later found out to have taught Bancroft how to cheat and how to sandpaper the ball to give Australia the better edge. Again, Cricket Australia was set out to make a precedent and a poster out of why not to cheat, and that is why Bancroft, Smith, and Warner all received suspensions. Bancroft and Smith both received suspensions for 9 months from the game of cricket, and Warner received 12 months. And these bans are significantly longer than punishments handed down in the past, as past punishments handed down by Cricket Australia normally range from 3 to 6 month suspensions. Obviously, 9 months is longer than that. And that's what brings us to this conflict today, as Australian Cricketers Association finds that these punishments are outlandish and just unfair. Because in past situations, Cricket Australia has never done this. They've always had lighter punishments. So before we begin, I would like to point out the mutual interest we both have on the table today. Both of our sides, both of us, gentlemen, we want to eradicate cheating from the game of cricket, and we want to bring the integrity of cricket back to Australia and into the game, eliminating cheating. So, before we begin communications, I propose that we will have an open dialogue where I will simply begin with simple yes or no questions to get the communication flowing, and then we will tread into harder to discuss topics and more in-depth questions. In that, the floor can then answer and ask more questions of. So, that being said, we will then move to our bargaining technique for compromises. Today, I suggest that we use an integrative bargaining tool in which that both sides will be able to walk away today feeling that they have accomplished something today, and that both sides walk away feeling successful in their compromise. One barrier, however, I'd like to point out before communications do begin is that Cricket Australia is trying to make an example out of these pitmen, and while they have had lesser punishments before for the same tampering of balls and cheating, it did not stop Mr. Bancroft, Mr. Smith, or Mr. Warner from cheating. And so you can see how Cricket Australia will be tough on negotiating the reduction of their sentences. However, I do have a couple solutions for this, and I believe that if Cricket Australia were to enact a couple new rules, such as voluntarily switching balls between bowls to eliminate tampering of the players, this could be as simple as giving the umpire a new ball, or the umpire switching out balls between bowls of players. This is obviously because all balls are supposed to be the same, So, as far as restoring integrity back into the game, I would suggest that the cheaters have to host a youth camp teaching our next generation of cricket players the importance of integrity in the game and why cheating is just shameful in the act of cricket. That being said, we begin communications.